Good morning, happy Friday, and welcome back to the NOFO Live podcast, where I, Sunita, along with my co-host Tracy, we hop on every Friday and chat about everything North Fork. It is cold, windy. I mean, we kind of had a storm, but some people think we didn't have a storm. It depends on where you were, if you were closer to the sound. But it looks like a little bit of the cooler weather is here to stay. Um, Speaking of cooler weather, the polar bears are having their. Good morning, Chris. How are you?
Good morning, Sunita. How you doing?
Good. Are you ready for the inaugural season plunge of the polar bears? I mean, I know you and I
Absolutely.
haven't been doing a lot of it recently.
Exactly. No, I will. Is that this weekend?
I believe it's this weekend. Yes, I
Yeah.
know. Yeah, it might be this
Well,
weekend. I know they're, but they also have their date for their annual fundraiser. Good morning, Sarah.
good
Good
morning, Sarah.
morning.
So,
Hi.
the community plunge where they do a lot of
Mhm.
fundraising in January, sorted out. So yesterday I was getting a little bit more information about that. I'm thinking, brr, it's too windy to be in the sound.
This is just the beginning, Sunita. This is
It's
just the beginning. I
exactly.
will be there. I will be lifting my arm out of the water, but I will
Oh
be
my
there.
goodness. Oh my goodness. So first of all, Tracy's not here because she is in the city doing her day job, producing a large scale food and wine festival. So
Mhm.
please welcome Chris back as our guest co-host from
Thank you,
North Fork
Sunita.
Sun.
Hi,
And
So
welcome,
Chris.
Sarah.
what's going on
Thank
with
you.
your arm?
I had carpal tunnel surgery in both
Uh,
arms in the last 3 weeks.
Oh,
So
gosh.
Hazards
I
of
left.
being a reporter, I guess.
It's not as bad as it sounds. My arms hurt so badly when I used to type, and I needed to get it done. I've been waiting for months, so I tried to just do it in one fell swoop, and I'm through the worst of it.
Okay, good.
Great.
I'm on the mend.
Okay, good. I'm glad you're here. And, this is more talking than typing. So perfect.
Yeah.
Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Good
Welcome.
morning.
Good morning. Let's dive right in and tell us, first of all, before you even talk about flavorful, can you just talk about your culinary background? Because it is impressive.
Yeah, you really
Thank
have an
you.
amazing background.
Thank you. Well, it's taken a long time.
Hmm.
It started way back. I went to culinary school back in the day when I was living in California. And while I was there, I just got hooked and worked in restaurants. I worked in Italy for a little while. While I was there, I thought, you know what, I need to go to New York and just and then, just kind of get into it. And so
Hmm.
I moved to New York and I worked in some wonderful restaurants there, some very competitive and high volume places. So learned a lot on that front.
But we're okay if you drop names.
Yeah,
Oh,
please
okay.
do.
Well, my first boss in New York was Bobby Flay.
Hmm.
His restaurant Mesa
Oh, we're
Grill.
starting there. Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Okay.
he was just starting out on Food Network. I mean, it was a brand new thing, and I actually didn't know who he was. I mean, I knew his restaurant, and so that was actually my introduction, not just to a high volume restaurant, but also to this idea of food television. And, there was a new sort of career happening there. But I wasn't, at that point engaged in it at all. And then I ended up working at Bernardin, and I was the line cook there. Very different, but also took away a lot of lessons about production and, the precise and beautiful things that happen in that kitchen. And then I started, long story short, I was hired to be a chef on the Martha Stewart show. And that was just an amazing job. It was like the coolest thing ever because we had every chef, everybody that ever wrote a cookbook or did anything. And they would come on the show and we were responsible for preparing all of the food because they literally had 7 minutes to, show you how to do something that could take 6 hours. And
Hmm.
so it was a very small team of us in the kitchen, and we had the best time, and it was just
I have this vision. I have this vision of you sitting under the counter where Martha's
there were
standing
moments
and
I
just
was under the
passing,
counter.
passing the
I
platter
know,
around.
we would tell the cameraman, we're like, we have to bring something out, so they would just zoom in on more. I mean, Martha was in on it. She
Of course.
knew how it worked.
Of
I mean,
course, we all get it, but we still want the presentation.
yeah. So if you were in the audience, you would see what was going on, but if you were watching on the camera, So anyway, after that show ended, I started doing more culinary producing. So that's more about not just development of recipes, but also script writing, and just logistics. Like, how is someone going to perform something on television? Like, what are the takeaways and storytelling and all these other parts of it? So that's what I had really been doing up until I moved out here. And even when I was out here, I was doing a show for Emeril and still work with Martha. So I was producing one of her TV shows as well, and just found that, I wanted to put more roots down here. And so over the past 2-3 years, I kept thinking, what can I do to really engage with this community more, with my background and with, sort of all these things I've done in food. And so that's when this idea sort of came about, that I actually last year started doing meals where people would order online, and then I had a little fridge in my barn and they would come pick it up. So that was kind of the beginning, and I started making a chili crunch sauce. So I thought, well, if I'm doing that, maybe I can start making other things that I like to make. And then it just sort of snowballed. And so I decided to open a little store in Greenport, and I opened May 25th, right before the summer.
That's amazing. If I could just jump back to some of the exciting stuff you talked about just a few minutes ago. I used to be a producer at Good Morning America, and I was very familiar with the food team there that would prepare for the chefs every Friday.
Yeah.
And I know what it's like. I know that that high-end intensity. And of course, the thing we always hear about these top restaurants is the intensity of the job. It's got to be
it's pretty hardcore,
like nothing else.
It is like nothing else. I couldn't actually believe it when I started. I thought, this cannot be real. Like, this is so stressful. I mean, on a level, you're not, saving lives,
Right.
But for some reason it has this like incredible intensity about it. And I loved it. I mean, I thought that was just, I just loved it. So the adrenaline, and going from this point where you start, like, you feel chaotic and you just cannot figure out what's going on, and you feel your progress. Every day you get better, and you realize that, like, okay, preparation actually makes me feel better. So then you learn all these other things as you go along about, and it's production. I mean, it's self-production. How do I do this job better? And how do I, get to this other place? And it's like, okay, well, I'm going to, study on it or practice it at home or do whatever it is, so that I'm not so stressed out every time I go to work. Right. And, just get better at it. So
I'd imagine that there's lessons you learned along the way during your sort of evolution that you still carry today.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, even just starting a brick and mortar is a whole new business for me. So the learning curve is big, and I'm learning a lot every day, and just about even pivoting. I mean, we live in a place that swells in the summer, and the streets are full of people, and then September, everything changes. So that is why I'm working on, pivoting for the season, and I'm offering cooking classes, which I'm so excited about. This is like my new little baby. So I've just announced that I'm starting my first one Wednesday, October 29th, and it's going to be pasta and sauce, which is, for me, like my happy place. I worked in Italy, and it's just the kind of food that I love to make. So we're going to cook a little and then eat, and get everybody together and just make it kind of a fun event.
So let's talk about the physical space. You said you opened the store in Greenport last summer. I mean, the location is beautiful, but also the vibes in your space are beautiful. So can you talk a little bit about the space and what you're doing there?
Sure. Well, I'm actually sitting in the space now, so you can kind of get a sense. It's small. I've got a fridge and a freezer, so I'm doing grab and go. I make the salads and the soups here. I also make some sauces and, other things that I think just enhance food and make it easier to, to kind of shortcut eat food that tastes elevated. And that's what I fill my store with as well. I mean, it's the not just other global inspired sauces that I can find, elsewhere, but a lot of local things. And I really am leaning into supporting local producers here, because I think that we have the best. I mean, the best things going. So it's fun.
And you said it's grab and go, but you do have cute little cafe tables. And
I
I
do.
don't know if you have them now in this season, but earlier in the summer, you
Actually,
had
I
these
have one.
cute.
I'm sitting at one inside the store right now because it's a little chilly to eat outside. But
So it
Yeah.
is possible to grab something and have a
yes,
quick lunch or a meal. Um,
absolutely. And the vibe that I'd like to create is just very like homey and comfortable, that you can come in and just kind of look around and feel like you're in a happy place. You know, I have good music playing, and I just want to create a space that I would want to be in every day.
so,
So that's what
so
I've
your
got.
neighbor at Saltwater wants you to share exactly your location so everybody can find you. Where in
Okay,
Greenport
great.
are
It's
you?
right on the corner of First and South. It's 402 First Street, and it's right across from the IGA and from the wonderful restaurant First and South. And it's kind of on this little porch side. So you know, a lot of people say, I didn't even know this was a place. I'm like, yeah, I know, it's a little spot. But once you find me, I think you'll know, you know, you'll come
I'll be
back.
visiting today. I
Wonderful.
promise
Oh,
you.
I'm
I'll
so
be over there
excited.
today.
So,
Good.
so,
I
so
need more
when Chris
presents of
does
you.
show up, what can he expect to find in the store?
So if you're hungry for a lunch immediately, I actually have started doing hot soups. So I'll probably do a nice warm lentil soup today, and then I have five other soups in the case. Things like a white bean with a kale. It's kind of like one thing is everything that I make is plant based in the store. So
That's an important message to put out there.
yes, it doesn't mean that I don't sell other things. I have charcuterie. I have amazing 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝘀 sausages that I just catered a party this weekend. It was a big Oktoberfest party, and it was all 𝗙𝗵𝗶𝘀 sausages on the grill. Amazing. And I made, you know, the German potato salad, and I did beer cheese dip with um, you know, big pretzel sticks and all the things. So that's another thing, is that I've
Well,
got
now you're making
catering.
me love October. I mean,
Yeah. But in the store, going back to what's in the store, so I have salads. I've got like a really nice shaved Brussels sprout with kale and all kinds of vegetables, and I make a green goddess dressing for that one. And I have another like farro bowl that's got gigante beans and broccoli with, you know, a vinaigrette on that one. So it's a lot of things that make you feel good. And then I also do a sandwich that I do on the panini press. Yeah.
Um, Sarah, a lot of your sauces and dressings, they've got bold global influences.
Yes.
Where do your ideas come from? Are they from your individual travels or from working in different restaurants, or where do you get your ideas for your
That's a
flavors?
very good question. Thank
Thank you.
you. You know, it comes from both my experiences in restaurants and things that I've made before that I have. Everywhere I work, I keep notebooks, and so I always kind of go back to that and think, what were the sauces that I loved about this place or that place, or something I made for a party. For me, quick sauces that are made with really good ingredients that can elevate anything. So I love making like a chimichurri, for instance, with fresh parsley, maybe a little bit of shallot, a little red wine vinegar, and olive oil and salt. And I mean, the simplicity of it is one thing that I love, but also it just makes everything taste better. And so I guess my inspiration is from sort of my experience with the things I've made, but also, yes, where I've traveled. I mean, I thought that the food in Thailand was like, I couldn't even believe how good it was. And so taking little experiences like that, or when I was in Bali, I mean, I take cooking classes whenever I travel as well, and try to learn more about their cuisines and the way that they make things. And so I can incorporate a lot of those flavors into what I make.
so let's switch back to the cooking class that you mentioned earlier. And
Yes,
as a foodie, I'm so excited about that. So
great.
you are going to be hosting them in the space in Greenport, correct?
Yes.
And
So
what does the afternoon look like? Like, are we cooking? Do we get to eat after? You
yes,
know, what's the plan?
yes. So I have a kitchen space here. That's where I make all my soups and salads and other things. So we would be together in the kitchen, very interactive, all hands on, making fresh pasta. I have actually a shortcut way of making pasta dough that 𝗙𝗀𝗃 𝗍𝗂 taught me, because she was a guest on the Martha Stewart show. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she was sort of this amazing Italian chef, and she was like the Julia Child of Italian cooking, and wrote many, many cookbooks.
That's a big
She
honor.
was like
That's a big honor.
She was the big deal, and when she came onto the show, she taught me how to make a pasta dough that it was like a revelation. So I'm going to show you all, anyone that takes the class, how to do that. And then just like a classic bolognese. And it's going to be practicing knife skills and building flavors and, just sort of like how you build sauces. I mean, a lot of sauces, that's what it is. It's building the flavors and using really good ingredients. And so we'll do that together for about an hour. And then I'm going to have the store set up like a little, tables and fun little vibe in here and music, and we're going to eat together.
And Sarah, how does somebody sign up for that?
So you can go to my website. It's www.flavorfulfood.com, and I have you'll see it there, the cooking class, and you just click through and you can take care of everything right online.
I love the name you came up with, Flavor Fork. I mean, it's
Thank
just,
Me too.
I don't know, how did you end up landing on that? Because
I
it's
don't
beautiful.
know. I mean, when you're naming something, you have like 3,000 names, and then maybe it was like one from here, one from who knows. But it made sense to me because I'm in the North Fork, and the idea is that everything in here has got a flavor. It's got something to it. So I
love it. It's just it hits the right note.
Yeah, good.
Speaking of landing, I'm going back to your New York City, high-paced, stressful, disciplined, go life. So how did you find your way to the North Fork?
It happened, right before, let's see, it was like 2018. My husband and I were coming out here quite a bit, and we found a little house that we were just I don't think we were expecting to buy anything here, but it just kind of happened. And so we had the house, but we were still living in Brooklyn. And then when the pandemic hit, the day it hit, we were like, let's move out to the North Fork.
Well, so you're one of the lucky few ones that bought before.
Before
it's unaffordable.
Exactly. So it was, we had the house and we moved out here, and we had a daughter right dead smack in the middle of the pandemic. And it was just so nice to be here. And it's been 5 years, I guess. So we, have just really put down some roots, and opening a business, of course, is one way of doing that. But we love it. It's an amazing place.
What have you learned about opening a business? In other words, what advice would you give to somebody who sees what you've done and wants to do something like that themselves?
Okay. I want to say, Chris, wait, hold on one second. I think, Chris, you stole my question, but I just want to expand on that a little, because I feel like I met you through the web, and I saw you at Farmer's Market, and I think you started with the chili crisp, right? So I guess my expansion is you were doing it without a brick and mortar, and now you have a brick and mortar. So how do you feel about both of those for somebody that's starting out and wants to try something?
Yeah,
I think that I'm learning as we go. A brick and mortar in a place that is seasonal is, you have to go into it thinking about other ways that you can utilize not just your time but your space. And I think that that's something I'm working on now. And I'm actually really excited about this idea of expanding into having cooking classes. And I'm doing catering, so I'm offering that service as well. I have this beautiful space. I'm thinking about, I can host parties here and have people rent the space. So it's like pivoting and learning and being open to all these new ways of generating, customers and business and
staying afloat.
But it's this idea that like you really have to think about those collaborations and how are you going to make it work on this off season, because we do have a very it gets quiet. Of course the holidays are coming, and so things kind of ramp back up, and that's going to be great. And I'm excited about selling. I have a lot of chili pep that's kind of getting back out there. So I still do wholesale, and I have some more products that I am also working on as well. And then I'm doing also gifting, and I have an e-commerce site. So when you go to my website, you'll see I have all the things that I sell in the store, all the products, and you can put together your own gift basket and send it to, you know, your cousin in California or whatever. So I'm curating boxes, but then also you can sort of pick and choose, and I put them in a, you know, a nice little gift box with a card in it and all the rest of it. So I think that that's going to be a fun thing to do for this holiday season as well.
That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
Do you have a flavor or a recipe right now that you're obsessed with?
Let's see, a flavor. I mean, we're coming off of, you know, the summer where it's just all the fresh herbs and everything. I mean, I love mint as a sort of secret weapon sometimes to, you know, when you put mint in anything, people are like, what is in here? It's so fresh and it tastes so different. And, you know, I think that that's like one of those herbs that's, you know, I use parsley all the time. I use a lot of different herbs to create a different experience. But I think that that's, you know, for me, the key. It's not even just like you know, I use like a tamari soy sauce sometimes to add a little bit of umami depth. I'll use tahini. You know, different flavors so that it's just enough. And it's like a tahini with lemon and water. And a little bit of salt. I mean, that's just like a delicious dressing. And it's so simple. And it doesn't require a lot of time. And it's just those little shortcuts. You know, how do you put different flavors together? And just, you know, sort of thinking about that. But yeah, I think that the herb trick is one of those things that I keep in my back pocket.
I love it.
Well, Debbie's on here praising the catering you did for them, and I can only imagine how delicious it is. I don't want to let you go without talking. I know you were talking about the space you're in, but is it you and your husband that also have sort of a version of a space next door? So do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So this space that we have, it used to be a big kind of maritime antique store in the front. It's big. And then this was the office, and the back area, I guess, was the office as well. My husband's an architect, and so he saw something when he walked in this space that I did not see. And thankfully, that is what happened. He said, well, if you do this and do that, and he did it, and it's amazing. So I applaud him for that. But then he also did the same thing with the space next door, and it is now called Village Works. He has his office in there as well. He is an architect. He does commercial work in the city, and he's also doing residential work out here. And so as he expands his business, he needed more space. But then because we have this large area in the other room, it's now a co-working space, so people can come in. They can
people like Chris that could use a beautiful space to hang out in.
It's lovely. It's just like got a lot of beautiful light. It's just really comfortable. We've got like a little lounge area set up. We have shared work tables. We have Zoom booths. Free coffee and tea all day. You get a 10% off at flavorful. And you can either do it by the day, by the month, and sort of get like a monthly pass, or you could, if you're interested in having an office, like a fixed office, you can also do that month to month.
What are the hours?
For
both the workspace and the store?
Yeah, so for the Village Works, it's 9 till 6, Monday through Friday. And then for my store, it's 10 until 4. I'm open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Sunday, I actually close at 3.
Good to know.
That sounds delicious.
We'll be over today.
Great. I'll be here.
Well, and you can bring your laptop, Chris, so you could sit next door.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. and I think, Sarah, when we were talking to the web, you mentioned you could just holler from the working space. You can bring the lunch in there. You're
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what's been happening. People just kind of wander in, they get their lunch. I mean, it's
just leave the door open between
the door
the two
is open
spaces.
all the time. I like the light that comes in from that side too, so I just leave it open.
Right.
Yeah.
Now you have food at the Flavor Fork, but I noticed that you're also supporting several local artisans and businesses, and you have
Yes.
trinkets, and talk about a little bit about some of the other stuff that you carry in the store.
Sure. So I have two local ceramicists, Brian Burgess and Lynn Buckfield, and they make beautiful things: platters, plates, mugs, pinch bowls, kind of different things. I've got for local products. I've got Mila. She makes a delicious gluten-free puffs and the yucca sticks that people, I mean, they go crazy for. I cannot keep them in the store. I've just started carrying Blackbird granola. She's located in Shelter Island. Totally addictive. It's delicious. I've got NOFO pies that are in the freezer. I've got just a lot of things like hot sauces and just a lot of other local products.
Well, I even saw like flowers. Again,
Yeah,
maybe that was summer when I came in, so
exactly.
there was just a whole.
Yes, yes. So I just try to, just make it a nice experience and bring in anybody that wants to get involved in the store, and I'm open.
What have you learned about customer habits? Like, do you have any particular products that are kind of selling off the shelf really
Yes.
fast, or things that are really popular that you're having to restock
Soups.
because you underestimated?
Soups. Everybody loves soup.
Soups. Okay.
People love soup. And as we get into the winter, I'm going to be doing a lot more hearty soups. I do make a cauliflower bolognese. I make it literally
Wow.
the exact same way I would make a meat bolognese, but I do it with cauliflower rice. And, just things like that, more kind of stewy, comfort food things going into the winter.
Ooh, the
And
cauliflower is calling my name, especially because I can't eat the meat now. But even in general, it sounds
yes,
delicious.
right? Yeah, it's nice. I mean, it's nice to have those kind of flavors that you can get when I mean, I do eat meat, but to have something that's really hearty and filling and warm. So,
We could talk to you for an hour, but we need to jump into the No for Life 5. So if, other than the obvious, obviously, if you
yes,
were taking Chris and me out to lunch or breakfast or dinner, your choice, where would we go and what would we eat?
Silver Sands, because I loved it so much. Probably just everything on the menu we would eat. I love, I love the raw, like the ceviche type things, and the pizzas are amazing. I mean, just everything that they make there is
I
fabulous.
was there this summer and I don't know what it's called, but it was like a flattened, charred, grilled fish, and it
Oh,
was delicious.
delicious. It's just the best. Yes.
I like how you had no hesitation. You were like,
No,
boom,
there's no
that's where we're
hesitation.
going.
I would go there every day for, as a matter of fact, when they opened, I think I went so much that they thought I worked there.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, could you go clean that? Yeah. I'm like, yeah, no.
Are they going to? I know they're going to have the boathouse.
It's
That's what they're
open.
calling
Yeah.
it. Is going to be? Is there going to be food there,
It's
or is
open.
it?
I've eaten the food there. It's
Oh,
very
yeah.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
It's
think they
great.
are going to be on the show a couple of months from now, so
Oh,
we'll hopefully
good.
hear
Good.
more. Yes. Yes.
Yay.
Yes.
Good.
Um, sunrise or sunset? What do you catch and where?
Okay. Sunset, I would say at the low tide bar at the Sound View.
Nice.
I love that
I
place.
love it too. I think that's a great place. That's a
Great.
great
I
good
mean,
answer.
we just caught one together, right, Sarah? Like 2 days ago at the
Yeah.
web meeting, and it was
Yes.
stunning.
I mean, it's a stunning view from that property.
Mhm.
So yes.
Chris, you want to jump in with any other
No,
questions, or
no,
should I
no.
keep
You go.
going?
These are your five.
Okay.
These are your NoFo Live five.
I'm just testing his co-host abilities to see if he's got them down yet. Um, brewery, vineyard, cocktail, mocktail. What do you enjoy, and where would we find you?
I love Croteau. I just think it's lovely. It feels like you're transported to Provence or something. I mean, and the people are so nice, and the wine is delicious, and the little snacks that they serve are like perfect. I love it.
Good answer.
They have created a whole ambiance that you would, even if you're not that you don't, their wine is amazing, but even if you're not a wine drinker, I think it's
Yes,
beautiful to
it's
just go and soak
lovely.
it in.
It's
Mhm.
Yes,
lovely.
yes, yes. So obviously you're surrounded by food and you're working with so many ingredients, but when you're cooking at home, what
Yes.
farm stands do you find yourself grabbing stuff from, and what do you pick up?
Um, Wickham. I go to for the fruit. I mean, really anything that they have. It's seasonal. The corn, I love making like charred corn. Sometimes I'll just cut it off and do like a corn and tomato salad. I mean, you can get for me, everything that I want there. I like going to 𝗙𝗃𝗃𝗃. They have the best, especially the greens, the hearty greens there. And let's see, 𝗙𝗹𝘃់. They're my neighbors, and I just think that they're, they're squashed. But I do a lot of like delicata squash, just simply like roasted with maybe some pomegranate seeds, fresh parsley, like things like that. So.
Well, and in fall, their farm stand really just comes alive.
Oh, it's amazing.
With all the pumpkins and the decoration. I mean, that's my favorite fall farm stand.
And my daughter can go run around, and I can just like go, leisurely shopping. It's lovely.
Excellent.
So, I mean, obviously, we're so grateful that you're bringing your deliciousness to the North Fork.
Thank you.
But tell us, what do you love about being a part of the North Fork community?
I would say it's the most supportive group of people I've ever encountered. I mean, it's really inspiring. And as I start a business, I am leaning on a lot of friends locally and, of course, elsewhere. But the people here have been so kind and generous and helpful, and it's very touching and it's very inspiring, and it makes me, it's hard to start a business, I have to say. It's not like the easiest thing to do, and you need support, and I feel like I'm getting it. So that's my takeaway from a lot of this experience, and I hope I can give that back to somebody soon.
You give it back to me.
Okay.
Be over.
I know,
Chris. I'm looking forward to seeing you, Chris.
I need to learn to cook.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, perfect. Yeah. I love to teach, so this is great.
So just remind everybody, when is the pasta cooking class?
So that one is on October 29th. It's Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30. And again, it's very interactive. It's going to be a lot of fun, and I hopefully will just make it a series and start doing every Wednesday cooking classes. I have paella on my brain for some reason, and sangria, and like I kind of want us to do like be transported for those couple of hours that we're together and do something fun together.
And just in case anybody mentioned it or missed it, your website is flavorfulfoods.com.
Flavorfulfood.com.
Food, okay. Sorry.
Yeah, flavorfulfood.com. So you can also, if you're Googling me, it would pop up, or so.
We'll find you.
Wednesdays with Sarah sounds wonderful to me.
That's right. So. It sounds good to me too. I would have a blast.
Well, the North Fork food scene is so amazing. There are so many amazing chefs and food producers creating delicious stuff here. And as a foodie, I'm so grateful that you're part of that and adding to it. And
thank you.
I look forward to coming back in and trying more of your delicious soups.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me on today. This is so fun.
It was a pleasure.
Really
I learned so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought it was great.
And thank you, Chris. Have a good weekend, everybody. And we'll see you next Friday.
Happy weekend.
Bye. Bye.